everybody, Joan Zodianz here, and welcome back to another episode of Spiritual Zundayz. This week we're going to be talking about the full moon in Virgo and Mercury stationing direct. All right, so we have the full moon on the 9th, which is tomorrow, and it will be in Virgo. And it's coming at a perfect time as we're wrapping up the Mercury retrograde, because the next day on Tuesday, the 10th, Mercury stations direct in Aquarius. It's also best to keep in mind when Mercury goes through retrograde, it's going to teeter totter between two constellations, which this time will be between Aquarius and Pisces. It will go back into Pisces on the 17th. So let's go over this full moon and how you can utilize and take advantage of this Virgo energy. When we think of Virgo, we think of a mutable earth sign. And the great thing about working with this type of earth energy is that it's both flexible and sturdy. So all of those ideas that you've been thinking of can now be manifested. You can start attracting abundance for yourself because Virgo and earth equals money. Money and stability, okay? And that's really what it is. So how do we take advantage of it? How do we use it? That's a common question I always get, especially when it's full moons and new moons. People don't quite understand how to manifest properly. And to manifest, I cannot say that word today. I should manifest how to talk, how to I need speech classes or something because today ain't it. So to manifest properly, you need to be able to surrender not just to the highest power, but sometimes you just need to surrender to yourself. There are times where we forget that we stand in our way, right? We need to get out of the way and we need to open up the doors for positive energy to flow in. Because there's a lot of times where you feel guarded, there's a lot of times where you feel really insecure. And so you put up these walls to protect yourself, not knowing that it's only hurting your opportunities, okay? Because when you block yourself, you're blocking out the world. People just don't recognize you or can't associate or relate to your energy because you keep hiding out and isolating yourself. Does that make sense? So I'm not saying you need to go full blown, go outside, start socializing with people when you're antisocial. That's not what we're trying to say. When we open up our energy, right? When we open up the door for opportunities, we sit down with ourselves and we map out everything. And for this full moon in Virgo, it's all about organizing everything in your life and making a very concrete plan for what you want to do. So it's actually getting you started into the year. Because remember in my last podcast, I said after this retrograde ends, it's almost going to feel more like, wow, the year is finally beginning. And with this Virgo moon coming around, it's like, all right, you done messing around now. It's time to get serious. It's time to get back into your human side and really work with yourself and embracing the human side of yourself, right? Because Virgos not only symbolizes the virgin, but also human purity. And that can be good and that can be bad for some people, especially if you don't know yourself well enough and you don't know what you're capable of. I mean, that's okay if you don't know yet, but you have to learn and discover who you are as you go through your journey in life, right? So think of this as the starting journey of 2020. Where are you beginning right now? Write that down. Who are you today? What are you like? What do you not like about yourself? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What can you work on to strengthen your weaknesses, right? And I mean, you don't have to be good at everything, but you can be good at the things that you're passionate about. We all start off at the low tier of our passion, right? People aren't just talented just because they worked really hard to make these talents skills that they can live and grow off of so that they can be happy, so that they can sustain a lifestyle that's comfortable for them. And that is only defined by what you think happiness and success is. So Sit down with yourself and really reflect on what makes you happy and what can sustain a comfortable lifestyle. That's really what it comes down to. Some people dream of like being a millionaire. So, how are you going to get there? You can't keep dreaming about it, right? Or some people just want to pay off their bills like me. I just want to I just want to live comfortable in my house and just pay things off. I don't desire to be a millionaire whatsoever. I just want my work to be out there, and I want to teach people and enrich people's lives. And this is my definition of what success is. So what is yours? You know what I mean? You can start off small and you can nurture it and watch it grow over time. I feel like a lot of people they forget to be realistic about their dreams, you know? And they think that, oh yeah, everything's going to happen in 1 year. But in that 1 year, you don't even see all the steps you need to take to get there. And so at the end of the year, you're like, "Oh, my dream wasn't realized." And then you give up on yourself, not ever really wondering why it didn't happen. And it didn't happen because you're not being patient. And that's what it comes down to. So Virgo can teach us that type of patience. Um, and they can teach us that this restless energy that we have can be used to be productive. It can be used to be resourceful. It can be used to keep us human, right? Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I know that it's probably like, whoa, all this information overload. But let's be real with ourselves tonight. I mean, tomorrow night, you can start early if you want to. I'm a fan of starting things early, especially if I know it's coming. I don't always do my full moon or new moon rituals on that day. Sometimes I'm busy that day. So I'll do the next day or I'll do it the day before. It doesn't really matter. It's all about intent and kind of just get in where you fit in. I'm very loose with my rituals, and you'll find that with some people are very strict, but I'm very like, go with the flow of your energy. You never want to force a ritual to happen only because the right intent will not be there. You want to do it when you feel good and you feel positive, like, yeah, you can overcome, you can conquer, you can confront yourself because that's the energy it's going to take. If you're tired that night, if you're overworked, if you're drained, don't do a ritual. And I try to teach people this because it's like you need the abundant energy to attract abundance. So if you just need the night to just take care of your energy and to heal your energy, that's a good ritual as well. You don't have to reflect on anything other than just to relax because we have all that restless energy from the retrograde, okay? So, a nice way of relaxing, this is what I like to do, is really just saging the bathroom, cleaning it out, saging the bathroom, and taking a nice hot shower. You can put in some incense in there, or you can, have that right intent. Some people like to do baths, spiritual baths, and they do bath bombs or just bath salts, whatever is going to make you feel in the mood to relax and to just rest your energy. You could do that as well. Okay. So, with that being said, let's move on. We have the next day on the 10th on Tuesday, Mercury stations direct still in Aquarius. So, what does that mean? In the last podcast, I explained what Mercury Aquarius meant in retrograde. Now that it's moving forward again, we find ourselves not being so opinionated or so argumentative or so stubborn with our beliefs, our thoughts and beliefs. Instead, we find ourselves being more understanding and accepting and non judgmental, right? We want to hear everybody's perspectives. We want to learn. We want higher thinking, okay? We will pride ourselves in that. So it's like we're elevating now in 2020, not moving backwards anymore. And I want you guys to take some of what I've been telling you into consideration because having these types of astrological guidelines really helps us check our own energy. It's not just hippity hoopla and woo woo bullshit. You know what I mean? I used to think that before, like, meh, I love astrology, don't care for horoscopes. But over time, I realized I wasn't taking advantage of the universal energy. And so I was missing out on all the spiritual evolutions I could have done. I could have done all of this quicker if I would have done it earlier. And so I kind of have that a little bit of regret. I don't like to live in regret though, but a little bit of regret like, man, I should have started all of this way sooner, but everything has its divine timing, right? And I say all of this to tell you that you will have your own divine moment as well, where everything just clicks for you and you can it's just smooth sailing from there. And when it gets a little bit rocky, you'll look at the astrology and you're like, ah, okay, okay. You know how to maneuver. Anywho, that was a mouthful. I'm feeling so much lighter too now that this retrograde is wrapping up. I am releasing my first astrology ebook. So I'm going to try to do it on my own and publish, and hopefully I can get enough money so that I can do a hard copy and then, see my little dream being nurtured over time. I don't expect it to happen in a year. So I just wanted to share that and update you guys on my life. Hope that you guys can work through your own emotional traumas as well. And we can all live happily ever after if that's a real thing. But I'll see you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.